it say?
I get this question a lot, and I think that it boils down to this. I think at the top end, the Big Ten has the best teams in college football. Indiana and Ohio State, kind of leading the track there. As far as depth goes, in the middle of the conference, you can make an argument that the SEC is better. Now, I do think that some of those teams get overvalued as compared to the top middle of the Big Ten. For instance, these 4 teams, I feel like, do not get the love that they should. Iowa, Washington,
Washington,
USC. Those teams
Michigan,
are better than
and
the AP
USC.
would suggest. They're better than the narrative would suggest, than the other network would certainly suggest. But the middle of the SEC is very good and very deep, and it makes it incredibly difficult to go out there and win every single week. What I start getting frustrated with in this whole conversation is that you go in overtime if you're Texas against Kentucky and Mississippi State, and you're sitting there and it's like, hold on a second. You can't just tell me that every win in that conference, because it's on the road, is a quality win. And Texas all of a sudden retains their position, even moves up in the AP poll. Meanwhile, Iowa is playing great football. They were just tied with Indiana in the last 2 minutes of their game in Kinnick a few weeks ago, 13-13, and Iowa can't get ranked. So that's where the perception maybe is a little off. Top end of the Big Ten, better. Middle of the SEC, better, deeper, and that's both of those things can be true.
It's interesting. Because of Phil Knight's money, I wouldn't leave Oregon for LSU, even though I think LSU's a better job. I wouldn't leave Ole Miss for Florida. There's way more pressure, and I think you can have a team that's almost as talented.
There's way more pressure.
I would leave. There's only about 4 programs I would never leave. Ohio State, I would never leave. I don't think there's a better job than Texas. If I got LSU rolling, I wouldn't leave. Same with Georgia.
Bama.
What do you do if you're Lane Kiffin? Because you could get Florida or LSU. What do you do if you're Lane Kiffin? He's still young. He's reinvented himself. Ole Miss is a very good job. It's not a great job.
No.
It's a very good job. I would stay because I think he's viewed as the architect of the next 10 years, and he's bounced around a lot. And I think for his personality and what he's done, it's a neat fit. Would you leave? Would you leave if you were Lane?
It's this simple to get your dream body. Get that CrossFit body and go to
At this point, no.
Choose business.
I mean, LSU is intriguing, right? I just think, LSU is a step above. I think that you have to overachieve at Ole Miss. You've got to do things that the program has never done to reach your ultimate goals and to win at the top end.
Is to win a natty.
In a lot of respects, the best years of Ole Miss football,
to win an SEC title once, and then to win the national.
And does he want better than that? And go to LSU. And we know that LSU can go and put together rosters year in and year out that compete at the top end, not only the SEC, but also of the country and win a national championship. I do think it comes down to resources. And like I said, I think that LSU has top 2 or 3 resources financially in college football. I know a couple of their boosters, they have deep pockets.